But Trump has continuously put himself over American citizens.
Yeah, let me ask you a question on that. He's gotten poorer since he ran for office. He's
think
lost
that-
his business empire. He's been impeached twice, indicted 4 times, facing 700 years in federal prison. How is that putting his own personal ambition first? He's facing life imprisonment, his business empire to be taken away from him. That's actually putting the country above himself, isn't it? Do you think that Donald Trump would be experiencing this kind of criminality against him if his name wasn't Trump?
Yes.
Really?
I do.
So then why is it that no one's ever been indicted for what he got convicted for ever before in New York history?
Isn't that a great question?
Yes.
Why hasn't he been indicted?
No. Why has no one else ever been indicted for what he was indicted for? They made up a crime, the first ever, for Donald Trump.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down this debate between Charlie Kirk and, once again, an uninformed leftist who is basically just regurgitating mainstream talking points without really understanding the nuance of his own arguments as well as the arguments of the other side. It's just another example of a typical leftist who is uninformed with a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome, getting blasted by a Goliath like Charlie Kirk. So grab your popcorn, get comfortable, and enjoy the ride. Let's get into it.
Yes, hello, how are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you doing? Good. My first question it relates with Donald Trump's morals and characters. Morals and character excuses are often made for him, but that has not been the case for most presidents, and I'd like to discuss that with you. Donald Trump has continuously shown low morals and poor character, and I understand that you are a pretty strong evangelical Christian. Is that correct? And I don't think Donald Trump exemplifies strong Christianity. So I'd like to know what you think about that.
So, great question. I will say, though, that he has a lot of virtues. Would you say he has any virtues?
What basis are you saying? What virtues do you think he
courage.
possesses? Okay, courage. I think,
Like, if you and I got shot, how would we react?
well, I don't know. I think that we're straying a little bit from the question.
No, talking about the Trump assassination attempt is definitely not straying away from the topic at hand. I think as a voter, when it comes to voting for a leader of a country, you want someone who exhibits bravery, patriotism, courage, resilience, and the willingness to fight for what they believe is right. And that is exactly what President Trump depicted in this iconic, once-in-a-generation photo. And whether you love Trump or hate him, you have to admit that this picture exemplifies the American spirit of freedom, bravery, and fighting for what you believe in.
No, but it's important, though. So what moral failures in particular do you think are disqualifying from a Christian standpoint for him to serve in office or gain support from Christians?
Well, I actually do have some things pulled up, and I did read some scripture in preparation as well. Would you mind if I provided some of that?
Sure, give me 1 or 2 examples.
Yeah,
and as long as you're applying the standard consistently to, for example, King David, Samson, Daniel, Joseph, and many figures in the Bible who are considered to be virtuous and righteous, because we're all sinners, and you know that.
Sure.
But
Yeah, absolutely.
Please give me some examples.
Yeah, well, I'd like to quote a couple pieces of scripture. First from, it says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, and to value others above yourself." But Trump has continuously put himself over American citizens.
Yeah, let me ask you a question on that. He's gotten poorer since he ran for office. He's
think
lost
that-
his business empire. He's been impeached twice, indicted 4 times, facing 700 years in federal prison. How is that putting his own personal ambition first? He's facing life imprisonment, his business empire to be taken away from him. That's actually putting the country above himself, isn't it?
Well, yes, but what about him selling golden sneakers, selling branded Bibles, which he claims to be the only one he endorses, $100,000 watches?
A horrible argument. I mean, Charlie Kirk is talking about some serious issues that Donald Trump has had to face throughout his presidency and throughout his political campaign. Assassination attempts, impeachment, losing net worth in his business, not to mention the trials and tribulations of political life, when this guy can be on a yacht chilling for the rest of his life, and this guy comes up with the most ridiculous retort like, But what about the Bibles and the sneakers he was selling and the watches he was selling? Well, yeah, he's a businessman, and I'm pretty sure he's not selling billions of dollars worth of his branded Bible. It probably doesn't even come close to his legal fees. I mean, talk about a lack of perspective coming from this guy.
So yeah, I mean, but selling products to try to pay for legal fees is probably understandable, right?
But he was...
How much do you think he's spending in legal fees a month?
Isn't that telling that he's a 34-time convicted felon, though?
That's interesting. So do you think the standard of justice is equally applied of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton?
Well, no, but look what you guys said about
No, hold on.
Hillary
That's
Clinton.
very important, though, because do you think that Donald Trump would be experiencing this kind of criminality against him if his name wasn't Trump?
Yes.
Really?
I do.
So then why is it that no one's ever been indicted for what he got convicted for ever before in New York history?
Isn't that a great question?
Yes.
Why hasn't he been indicted?
No. Why has no one else ever been indicted for what he was indicted for? They made up a crime, the first ever, for Donald Trump.
I don't...
We are not electing Donald Trump as a pastor of this country. We're electing him as a president. And we also see what he does. And this is a very important moral question. Let's say I grant you that Donald Trump embodies some of the sins that you and I both don't like. Is it matter more of what he's done in his personal life, or does it matter more, for example, when you invade a sovereign country like Iraq and commit war crimes against millions of people?
Well, Donald Trump has contrasted multiple Christian values, but I don't...
Well, hold on, this is important, though. Have we ever heard the mainstream media or yourself come up and say, how could a Christian vote for George W. Bush? Have you ever heard that argument?
No, but...
Well, hold on. George W. Bush invaded a sovereign country under lies and pretenses, and thousands of American soldiers died, and hundreds of thousands have PTSD, and millions of people had their lives displaced. We never say that George W. Bush was a bad Christian, yet Donald Trump was the one that didn't declare any new wars. Blessed are the peacemakers. The point is that it's easy to nitpick at Donald Trump's personal life, but what he actually did to impact the country was far greater than other presidents that called themselves Christians in years past.
Okay. It still doesn't quite make sense why a Christian would vote for him, but I appreciate your input. I guess I put that very vaguely. I don't understand how Christians are okay with so much that he does, because he also refuses to accept responsibility and take accountability.
Well, but because we read the Bible, and the Bible is full of people that have very, very difficult, let's just say, colorful lives, and still are used for God's purpose. And and by the way, it's very easy to say, are you a sinner? You're not a Christian, but let's just say,
yes, I've sinned.
Yeah, we're all sinners.
And that's really what the argument comes down to. You're not voting for the pastor of the country or the greatest human being that has ever lived. You're voting for the leader of the country who is expected to make the best decisions that they can based on their experience in business, in politics, in understanding human nature. Everyone has flaws, everyone has mistakes that they've made, but that doesn't disqualify them from doing a good job. And the same applies to President Trump, who is the only president who did not start a new war in recent times, and he's the only candidate that advocates for the values that America is founded upon.
And so we look at Donald Trump and we say, wow, this is a guy who's obviously broken. We're all broken. And what do you do with your broken life? Do you just golf all the time and fly around the world and hope things get better? Or do you get in the arena and fight for the country to the extent of where you get shot, you're under assassination attempts every day, and your business empire gets taken from you? That's incredible virtue that I'm going to teach my kids about and say, even if your back is against the wall, you keep on fighting.
I think Charlie Kirk did a fantastic job to explain himself and his ideas in this debate. I hope you guys enjoyed the video that I made and the point that I'm trying to illustrate. I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified every time I release a new video. I want to thank you for watching. Until next time.